welcome to another edition of Just Thinking. Happy New Year. Okay, a little early maybe, but we're here today to talk about a bonfire celebration that will take place New Year's Eve at the community farm. What? The community farm? Where is that? What is that? We're going to start there. So I have with me today Kriss Westland and Shannon. I'm going to do it again. Gratton. I've got her last name wrong, but it's not her fault. It's all mine. Anyway, we're going to talk about the community farm and then more about the celebration on New Year's Eve when you and your family want to go out and celebrate. So, Kriss, the Holliston Community Farm Advisory Committee, that has a name long enough to wrap around.
Yes.
At any rate, you are the chair of that committee?
Correct.
Okay, and that committee is appointed by the Board of Select Board?
The Select Board back in 2016.
Okay,
Yep.
All right. Community Farm is located on Rogers Road. Now, most people are going to say, Rogers Road. I can't quite place that. Let's do it.
Between Nicholson Plumbing and Shen's Gymnastics Academy, right?
Inside the Lowland Industrial Park. So if you picture yourself on Washington Street, you're chugging along, you're heading to Sherburne, you're almost to Sherburne. Whitney Street is on your right, and you're going to turn right, and you're going to follow that road, and it's going to take a sharp bend. And off to your left, you're going to see a lovely new sign, nice looking sign at the Holliston Community Farm. And we own it.
Yes.
Town bought it several years ago. How many acres?
2014, 32 acres.
32 acres. And this is an open space where we now do a multiple of different things. Why don't we talk about what's on it? What do we do at the farm?
To start, we have garden plots available for the community to rent and grow their own produce. We have a beautiful large greenhouse that we have been growing food and donating to the food pantry and holding a kids park and rec class in.
Oh.
We have fields in the back, and we have a bee apiary available for the community.
That's wonderful. Now, there's also some talk, or at least there was, about Woodlands walking areas and that kind of stuff. Are there places back there that one can go walking, or is that not yet available?
There are about 1.5 miles of trails. We're going to work with the Boy Scouts partner and put some kiosks up. We had some good CPC funding that we got in the spring, and that's helped us get the projects done, as well as a lot of pro bono work. Like the greenhouse was donated by the Downtown Marigold American Legion, and it's a 100-foot greenhouse. It's beautiful.
It's
so that's
huge,
our
yeah.
gem. The septic was pro bono from Rodenheiser Septic. So there's been a lot of work that's gone into this volunteer and donation-wise. Yeah, the community apiary is there. So the open space part is when you first go to the property, it's the agricultural section. That's probably about 5 acres of it. And then the rest is, open space. There's the power line right of way, and they have a path anyway for access, so you can walk along that. And there are trails around the field that go back into the woods, and they go back along the perimeter of the property. So we're working on getting them marked up and in better shape.
Do you ever connect with the rail trail?
No, I looked at that. We'd have to go through some wetlands. When you go down Whitney, there's like that pond where the turtles hang out, right?
Yep.
I was looking for turtles. It would kind of come through there, and so it's not really accessible. But I think that would be lovely if somehow we could get a connection. But I think it's just too busy of an area to cross over. I keep on wanting to look at the plots and just see if there's a little narrow way, at least to cross over.
Yeah. I'm sure there is. We can figure that out. But that's another day.
Right.
That's another day. So just to be clear for people who don't understand, there is an agricultural commission in town as well, and that commission is actually a part of town government. It is much like the Conservation Commission or any of the other appointed official committees, and it has sort of a government role in that it is supposed to help farmers navigating through local or state processes and government rules and bylaws and stuff. And if there are disagreements between farm owners and neighbors or whatever, they're supposed to help with that. That's a very different entity from what you are.
Correct.
So your entity is entirely responsible for the farm itself, right?
We oversee the property,
Okay.
correct.
Now, do you also have a friends group that raises funds for you, or is that?
We do.
You do?
The Friends of the Holliston Community Farm, another long name, is responsible more for the marketing and the fundraising. So like Bobby Blair is partnered with the Friends of for the farmers market.
Okay.
And then the bonfire that's coming up. So yeah, that's how we do a lot of other funding through events and such, like the Haunted Walk.
Okay.
So that's one of our big events.
Halloween.
Yes, we tried to have it on Halloween, but we got rained out, so we pushed it a week later, and it was just kind of a revival of the event because we hadn't had it since 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Triple E, COVID.
That's right.
And yeah, so you know the rest of the story. So,
Yeah.
So we had set up so much of it by the time we decided just to go for it the following weekend, and a lot of people were still excited about it. So we plan to keep that one going.
Yeah.
I think that the one thing that impresses me is that this is all oriented to families. I mean, this really is driving the whole conversation down to a child level. You've got the programs, the park and rec programs that help kids understand where food comes from. I used to work for the Department of Agriculture, and we were often discouraged by the lack of understanding. The kids really did think it just came from the grocery store, did not realize it had a relationship with the ground or a tree or whatever, So the fact that we're using it as a way to educate the kids. Now, when we first bought the property, the house was to be also used for educational purposes. Septic system was the big obstacle to accessing that. That's all set now?
There's another obstacle. There's a cracked foundation, so
Cracked
structurally.
foundation.
Actually, when we first bought it, it was supposed to be demolished, and then we, actually it wasn't me, it was before our time, argued to keep it as an existing structure because it has a nice, great room in there for meeting purposes, a little kitchen, so you can have it for events. It's good to have a home base because there's nothing around there.
Right.
It's out on the fringe of town, as a farm should be. Right? It's not going to be in the center of town. So you do need some facilities. There's also the barn, which has also been
You
fixed up
renovated
nicely.
that.
Yes. The Lions Club and the Newcomers Club gave grants, and we resided it with trees that were cut down and milled by
Right there.
by Jim Torelli.
Yeah.
Yep, by his sawmill operation. So, we're just trying to keep it local, keep it what it was, and educate people on agriculture. That's kind of the whole mission of it. It's not to run a CSA from. I mean, we have Upswing that does their CSA pickups, and a lot of people ask us all the time, if we're CSA, but we're not like the Medway Community Farm. We're different. A different mission and a different purpose than those kind of community farms.
Right, we're not a farm to produce produce. We
Right.
do a little bit, but that's not the primary mission?
No, I think education, community resource, community awareness of agricultural history of Holliston, because there's a lot in that area anyway. And then we are trying to keep the field, in good shape. It was fallow for some time. And so Willow Rise Farm has been donating manure on a regular basis, so we've been keeping it up. We've been planting cover crops. We have a farmer who does grow, I think, some for Upswing, if I'm correct, not mistaken. She rents a section of the field, so she's keeping the field going in her section of beautiful produce that she grew. So there is part of it being used. The other part, we're just trying to keep it, as an open field and get the soil back in shape.
That's one of the hardest things in Massachusetts. I mean, we lost so much pasture land and wide open space. So we've got a lot of wooded areas, but wooded areas don't attract the same kind of natural habitats. I mean, they're not, the bugs are different, the birds are different, the animals are different. So it's great just to have some open area, really open, that's protected that way. So now we understand the mission. We understand we have a crack in the foundation, and I guess we'll think about that. I had one in my house. I got that fixed.
We have somebody lined up to fix it. It's a matter of scheduling the time to. We have to excavate and fix the wall, and then we've had it reviewed by the former building inspector. So this has been going on for years that we've been trying to.
Of course. Everything goes on for years. That's the bottom line.
So we have a plan.
We have a plan. That's good. That's the most important thing, because very often we forget to do the planning part. But anyway, good for you. But let's talk about New Year's Eve. Now, we already have, as an annual event, on the rail trail, we have the walk that the Friends of the Rail Trail, not to be confused with the Friends of the Farm, because they're clearly two different things, a farm and a rail trail. But at any rate, so we've got the Friends of the Rail Trail who do the annual walk, and that goes from 5 to 8. And if you've never done that, or even if you have done that, go back and do it again, because that's always fun. There are fire pits along the way, and food, and singing, and all kinds of fun in Fal de Ra. And it's a great event for little kids. If you especially think about the 5-year-old who New Year's Eve is supposed to be a big deal, but what is that? So it's kind of a fun thing with young kids. Scouts get involved in it, set up a hot dog stand and all that kind of stuff. But then it ends at 8 o'clock. Well, now what are you going to do? You go home and wait for 4 hours for the ball to fall in Times Square, or else you go home and go to bed if you're married. But, okay, so this year I don't have to go home and go to bed. I can stay bundled up. And the community farm is having a bonfire. Okay, how are you doing this without, needing like 5 fire trucks out there and having all kinds of preparation and, what are you doing? Where are you holding this fire? Giant fire.
It will be out in the field at the edge. We have a permit from Chief Cassidy has approved it. We'll have fire pits stationed to keep people warm because, you have to be, you can only get so many people around a bonfire. We're going to have a live band. The big chief band will be playing in the greenhouse to keep them warm so they're not playing outside. And we'll be serving up chili and hot cider, I believe. Yep.
Oh, and I saw it was Superette's Chili, right?
Correct.
I saw that in you sent an email out. So is there a website or any place that people who hear this might just be able to check? Where would that be?
The best place to check is our Facebook page. So at Holliston Community Farm on Facebook. We're also on Instagram with the same handle. And our website, www.hollistoncommunityfarm.org.
Okay.
And there's a link there that sends you to purchase tickets and to learn more about the event.
Okay, so let's talk about the tickets. First of all, where do you get them and how much are they?
I know that they're $10. Do you want to?
Yep.
You have all the information, I think.
Yeah, they're $10. There is a cap for families at $40, and they can be purchased online or at the Superette.
Okay, and that gets us back to this is the .org site. The website is where you can purchase them. Okay, Community Farm, HollistonCommunityFarm.org.
Yes,
Okay.
and from there, there's a link to go to the to purchase tickets online.
Okay, and $10 a ticket, and the hour that this event ends is
10:30 p.m.
10:30, so you've still got time to go home and catch the ball falling from Times Square or whatever.
That's right.
Okay, good. The band that is playing, is this a local band?
Yes.
It is. What do you know about the band? I know Sherry Anderson was the one that kind of inspired our conversation, and I know that she is working with them. I think there is somebody in the band from around here. Yeah.
From Holliston.
From Holliston?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of music is it?
They play a variety.
Okay.
It sounds like they really play to what the audience is going to like, from R&B to rock and roll to reggae and some country, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Inside the greenhouse, are you setting up tables and that kind of stuff inside the greenhouse?
We're going to serve, but we can't have people seated in the greenhouse. It's not permitted for that. So the plan is to walk through, get your cider and chili, bring chairs, and go hang out around the bonfire and have a nice chat with people.
So when you say bring chairs, each individual person who's going to visit should be bringing their own chairs?
That's what we're recommending.
Okay,
yes.
Because where else do you have all those chairs?
We don't really have chairs in the field.
Right.
We probably have some chairs that we could put up, but we can't
Right.
host chairs for everybody.
So you're going to bring your own chair. Can you bring your? I noticed in it that you won't be serving alcoholic beverages.
Yes.
What happens if someone brings an alcoholic beverage? Is that allowed?
No, I don't.
I don't think it
believe
is.
so. Yeah.
I think that it's important that we just sort of get that out there, that, you know, it's town property, and I believe that there is a rule that one is not supposed to do that. So
Correct.
unfortunately, you'll have to wait until 10:30, but that's really the best time to go home and have that celebratory drink as you watch the ball in Times Square.
A hot toddy.
Okay, or a hot toddy. That was actually what I was thinking about. If you're outside and it's really cold, that would be something you'd like to get. But at any rate, have anybody looked at the long-range forecast?
I have. It's like in the 30s, 40s so far. I didn't see any precipitation, but it's not quite to that weekend yet. So.
Yeah, well, piece of cake. If it's in the 30s and 40s, we can handle that pretty easily.
Yeah, it's the overnight. Then that, you know, it'll start dropping, but it's winter.
Just accordingly.
Just accordingly. Yep, and it will be a little bit of a walk because there is not a lot of parking out behind the house. So we're going to. What we did with the haunted walk was. DPW graciously donated their light tower. It's fantastic. It lights up the whole Jeffrey Avenue, and Shen's is allowing us to park, people to park there, and so it'll be kind of a walk to the farm, but that's the safest thing we can do is if you park and walk up to the farm, and then we're out behind the house. So we'll have everything lit up, and we'll have people helping direct where to go. But it's a fun, you know, part of our mantra is to get outdoors,
Yep.
you know, and that's what we're trying to get people to do.
Okay, so now for the really serious question for somebody of my age. Are there restrooms?
We will have a porta potty.
Okay, just,
Yeah,
you know,
I know.
some of the very fundamental basics that you get asked is cold with the hot cider. Yeah, I think I'm going to need one of those.
This is where having the house, you know,
Would be great.
We do have the septic. It's a
Yep.
beautiful new septic. We just have to get the structure fixed, and we have also a handicap accessible door that's in the plan. That's part of the donated work. So we're trying to get the house in that position, and then of course we would have to upgrade the bathrooms in there. But it would be wonderful to get that. You know, that's kind of our next step. We've done a lot of projects, the parking area this year to get it where it's not a mud bath. I mean, we've been there and it's been up to my knees, almost the ruts. So it's people accessing the property, the plots, the pickups, and you know, it's been frustrating, especially with all the rain.
I was going to say the wet season has just, and it's still going on. I mean, I have a paddock that is underwater. It's just like,
you're just walking mud.
Is this ever going to go? You know, the poor horse picks up her foot and goes. You know, it's just like, wow. Anyway, I do think it's important to remind folks that the purpose of this event, aside from the fact that we're going to have a good time, is to raise funds, okay? And that this is not a government operation. So this community farm, while it's often supported by either town meeting votes that provide resources or the CPC, the community preservation money that we all contribute in our taxes, yeah, that happens, but there are so many more expenses that go beyond that.
Yes.
And so this is a fundraiser for this group. So in the event that you can't attend, that doesn't mean you can't buy tickets and donate and not attend, okay? So let's at least, fundraising's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Fundraising is tough, and unless you're somebody who in her lifetime has been paid to do it, you don't usually ask so directly. But the point is to raise funds. So if you can, donate, and hopefully you'll also attend.
Thank you, Mary.
Yeah. Is there anything else going on that night that we need to think about? I know I definitely want to hear the band, because I understand they're supposed to be really, really good.
I mean, it's basically the band and then walk to the bonfire and be around friends and meet new people, you know,
Bring your
and
friends.
see the farm.
Yeah,
you know,
bring your friends, absolutely. You know, get a group together.
Because it's a beautiful property. I haven't checked what the moon is going to be, the moon phase, but there's nothing out there. So you could take a little wander and you can go see some stars. You know, move away from the fire. It gets dark there. You know,
It gets very dark there.
Yeah, but it's nice, and you might see some nature while you're there, or hear it. You know, owls and whatnot. It's just
Speaking of
surrounded
owls,
by it.
Have you been hearing a lot of owls lately?
I hear them all the time. But yeah.
Oh my good grief! I don't know. There's something going on in the neighborhood.
It's getting to be mating season in
Is
January.
that it?
Yes.
Is that it? Okay, because my neighbor and I have been, going back and forth, and it's kind of like, what's happening out there?
They're trying to hook up.
Well, okay, well they're very noisy at it. There's nothing subtle. But at any rate.
Well, it's dark. You got to put yourself out there.
Anyway, this actually sounds like a really fun event. So I'm glad it's happening. And again, it's the Holliston Community Farm.org. Let's just rehearse that. I'm going to get that in Gratton.
You got
the
it.
last name. I'm going to see. It only takes me 20 minutes. At any rate, so it sounds like a fun time. I hope lots and lots of people go. I do hope you don't have rain, because that's just the pits.
I know.
That's just the pits. But
Snow might be okay. But
light snow, please.
snow,
Not
yeah.
enough to stamp out the fire, because then you just got smoke. And who wants to sit around the smoke, you know?
And I realize it's dark, but it's still good to get out and see where the farm is and what it is.
Yeah.
And anybody's welcome there anytime. It's a town property. Come take a walk. You know, bring your dog. Keep your dog on a leash, please, and clean up. Of course. But
Yeah.
you can, you know, there are 25 garden plots rented there, and we also do a seedling sale in the spring.
Oh.
Yeah,
oh.
we just started our first one this past spring, and it was really successful. So we're going to do that again. That's another fundraiser. So,
Okay.
you know, keep us on your little radar, your map, and you know that it is a town resource, a community resource. And if there is something that you feel that we can do as a community farm, please do reach out to us. We would love to hear that. I've been talking to some folks about, you know, any kind of handicap accessible things that we could do, gardening classes or something like that. So, but we have to just keep in mind how accessible the place is. But I think we have some ideas for that. We're going to continue doing the Parks and Rec, the Learn to Grow, Grow to Learn class.
I
And
love that.
yeah, the kids love it.
They do.
They get dirty. They're like,
Hey, this is cool.
Yeah,
This is cool.
So
Right.
I think we've had some real positive feedback on that. I don't really think we've had much negative.
Nope.
I've asked, and
It's
so,
working.
Yes,
That's
yes.
good. That's
So
great.
yeah.
You've done a lot of hard work, Kriss. Thanks very much. I'll just personally say that, you know, I've watched from the sidelines for several years now, so thank you very much for all your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of help.
I know you've had a lot of help, and I do want to do a shout out to PJ Kilkelly, because he was certainly, you know, spearheaded and was a champion and still is a champion of this. He's a little busier now professionally, but he's still a big champion of this whole effort. So
Yes,
you
yes.
know.
He was huge in helping this get off the ground.
Yeah, and getting their barn refurbished and so forth. So.
And we are a 7-member committee. We're shy a member, so if anybody's interested. And
Oh.
the Friends of is also looking for anybody that can help marketing or fundraising that you're interested. Please, you know, reach out. We're here.
Okay, well, I do think that the Facebook page, sign up for the Facebook page, you know, like it and follow it and see what's going on. That's the best way to stay in touch. But in the meantime, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And
Happy New Year.
I'll look forward to seeing you that night. Anybody else got anything else? If not, we're out of here. Okay, hey folks, thanks for joining us. I hope you do take advantage of the opportunity for this family-oriented, fun-filled way to celebrate the close of 2021, and fingers crossed 2022, you know, is going to finally ditch this COVID nonsense and so forth, and life will get better. So anyway, thanks so much. See you next time.